a highly sensitive person, and I know exactly what it feels like to think that you're going crazy or that something's the matter with you. And in this video, I want to share with you my top strategies to help you manage this sensitive side of you, which is actually a gift. Let's get into it, and we'll start off by clarifying what HSP or highly sensitive person means. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably already suspect that you are highly sensitive. So I'll start by saying that there's nothing wrong with you. You don't have a condition. You don't have a illness or a disease. It's not something that's broken about you. You don't have anything that needs to be fixed. It simply means that we experience the things that happen to us in our outside world and in our inner world a little or a lot more differently to other people. And not all HSPs are shy and introverted. Some of us are extroverted and outgoing. The thing with being highly sensitive though, because we feel everything so intensely, we are more prone to shutting ourselves off, to disconnecting from the world and closing our hearts to protect ourselves from feeling pain. But there's a better way to do this, and in this video I'm going to show you how. There are four main things that HSPs have in common, and the first is the way that we process information. So we process information very deeply, and this is something that happens in our brain. You can think of a volume button that is in your brain, and everything that you experience through your five senses is really amplified. Because we process information so deeply and so intensely, we also end up spending a lot of time in our heads, and we tend to overanalyze everything. So the things that people say, things that happen to us, we spend a lot of time analyzing this, and we can also then end up being self-critical and afraid of making mistakes. So we turn into perfectionists, or we don't want to make any decisions. We take long to make decisions because we don't want to make the wrong decision because we think about it too much. And because we think about these things too much, because our brain amplifies everything, we end up becoming easily overstimulated. And we really get overstimulated by almost everything. It's like our brain doesn't have a filter. And because we take in so much information, it's easy for us to get ungrounded or to feel spacey. HSPs have high emotional responses, and we're usually also very empathetic. So what this means is that we feel things very strongly. We've got a very strong emotional reaction to other people's words, to other people's actions, to the things that happen in the world, and to the things that we think about ourselves, the conversations that we have with ourselves. We can also pick up information from other people. Because we are so sensitive and so reactive, we can easily think that we've upset other people if we feel their moods. And this, because you're taking on so much energy from other people, can easily make you feel exhausted, and it can even leave you feeling burnt out. And then the fourth trait that all HSPs have in common is that we are really good at sensing things. So this means that we can pick up the things that are not said. You can read between the lines. You can also pick up on intentions of people. But the downside of this is a lot of times the things that we pick up, we think that that is a reflection of us, and we make it our own, and that then affects us emotionally. So all of these traits, they don't stand alone, they all interact with each other. And if any one of these aren't managed, or you're not aware that this is something that could potentially upset you, it really can have a negative effect on you and make you feel like you are going crazy, or that no one understands you, or that there's something wrong with you that needs to be fixed. Now I want to share with you some of the techniques that I use myself, and I've been using this regularly ever since I found out that I was a highly sensitive person. So these techniques, you can use them on a daily basis, and they really will help you to understand your sensitivity trait. But not only that, they will really help you to cope, so that instead of you being controlled by this way that your brain has been designed, you can take back that control and you can decide how you want to show up in the world. So the first thing is to develop your awareness around your triggers. Now, we are all different. Even if we are all highly sensitive people. So that means that what is very arousing for you might not be so arousing for me, and different things have different effects on us. So it's important for you on this journey of discovering how you can manage the sensitivity trait. It's important for you to identify what are your triggers so that you can then start taking control of that and you can start managing that. Alone time is one of the crucial things that's going to help you build your resilience so that you can react more positively to these triggers, so you can manage these things that make you feel overwhelmed more easily. It doesn't really matter at what time of day you choose to have this alone time, but it's vital that you make this a daily practice. The way that I do it, because I've got 2 young kids and with my husband, the only time that I can really be alone and be focused is before anyone else in the house wakes up. So that is the time that I treasure, and it really has made such a big difference in my life since I started doing this every day, because I use this time to do my yoga, I meditate, I journal, and I do whatever else I need in this space to help me feel anchored and grounded. And that brings me to the second point, which is you have to ground yourself regularly. Now, because we spend so much time in our minds, right? Because we spend so much time in our heads, it's easy for us to disconnect from our bodies. So by grounding yourself, you literally bringing yourself back into your body, you're connecting with the earth so that you don't feel so spacey. And this is one of the signs that will show you that you're ungrounded, is when you feel spacey or when you feel floaty, when you become clumsy. And I've made a video on ways to ground yourself, which I'll link to up here. So go and take a look at that after you've watched this video. So very important to ground yourself regularly, and you will, as you start developing your awareness around your triggers, you'll also begin to notice when you are ungrounded. Then the third tip that I have for you is something which I've noticed not many people speak about, and that is to protect yourself energetically. In my experience, as much as I get affected on a physical or an emotional level, I also get affected energetically. Now, by protecting yourself energetically, it will strengthen your resilience, and it would also help to protect you against this onslaught and this batter that we sometimes feel because of all the information that we're getting from external sources. So first of all, you start off by imagining or visualizing or feeling a white light shining down on your energy body, and it really is healing all the bumps and the holes and the tears and the hooks that you have on your energy body because of your exposure to the world. And it also washes off all of the negative and heavy energy that you don't need anymore. So once your energy body is clean like that, you take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in, you imagine that you are pushing your energy body or your aura a few feet away from you. So you're really making it strong, and you have the intention that it's strong and powerful. And then finally, you imagine a bubble of light surrounding you, and this can be a gold light, it can be a pink light, it can be a white light, it doesn't really matter. But imagine that this light is all around you from the top of your head to underneath your feet, and it really is protecting you, and it's stopping anything from coming inside that you don't want to enter into your energy field. And you can do this when you have a shower in the mornings, or before you leave your house, before you go into a meeting, or any time throughout the day when you feel that you need some protection and that your energy is feeling a little bit ragged. If you found these tips helpful so far, then comment below with a yes. So the next tip that I have for you is to do a daily energy healing and energy balancing. And I really like the work of Donna. So if you look it up here on YouTube, you can look for her 5-minute morning routine. And I can really tell you, since I've been doing this, I've really noticed a difference in my own personal strength and my own personal mastery. And then the final tip that I have for you that's going to help you cope with your high sensitivity is to create strong boundaries. And we want to not have a wall up and disconnect, but we want to open our hearts. And when you have strong boundaries, it really means that because you know yourself and you know what your triggers are, you can decide what you want to let into your world, and you decide how you're going to manage that when you let it in. So you can now use these tips to help you manage your sensitivity